Champions Cup third quarter final. It was played some time ago now. It was played just before I was going to bed. Last night here in New Zealand, it was like 11:30, so half an hour before midnight, and it was a midday game over there in France. And it seems to have gone pretty much according to the script. Ulster were not given much of a chance in this one, and sure enough, it's a pretty comfortable victory in the end, 36 points to 8. Halftime it was a lot closer. Halftime it was only 15-3. But a few moments of magic from Toulouse and a few unfortunate injuries for Ulster probably didn't help them along their way for what was always going to be a pretty tough job. It was a nice looking day over there in France from what we could see in the weather. I've just watched the game this morning. And pretty nice weather. 5,000 fans in attendance, they said. And man, were they vocal for 5,000 fans. Those guys could make some noise. So kudos to those people. They were absolutely loud. You would have thought there was a lot more than 5,000 people there. Hume looked hurt early, and that was disconcerting with Ulster only having a 6-2, two backs on the bench, basically, with a 6-2 split. And with the 14 men who were playing, with Hume down for injury, Toulouse weren't going to muck around, and they scored a try just before the third minute even ticked over, man. Colby, he stepped Stockdale, made him look pretty sick, and Stockdale's got a couple of moments in this game where he didn't look the best. But, I mean, Colby's done that to loads of people before now. It's one of those ones where you know he's going to jink back inside. But what do you do about it? Because if you don't, he's probably just going to burn you on the outside. He's just got that ankle-breaking technique of his. It was a huge pass from Dupont. It was 14 on 15, as I mentioned. 15 on 14, because Hume was down injured. So, yeah, they missed the conversion. It's 5-0 early. I felt like for the first 10 minutes, Ulster just couldn't get through any phases. They were either knocking it on or getting turned over. They couldn't quite get any continuity, but at least they had a bit of possession in that kind of first 10 minutes after that try. That being said, 13 minutes, Ramo kicks a penalty to make it 8-0. Dupont almost goes length of the field on 14 minutes. He's got a big old line break from the kickoff. But he gets put into touch. And then also kind of bad news for Ulster, 15 minutes. Faddis has to come on for Billy Burns, who's done something to his calf, is what the commentators said. So, man, like I mentioned, with Hume already taking a knock early, the fact that you have to bring on Faddis, Lowry has to go to 10. They had to shuffle the whole back line around, which is pretty unfortunate. And then, a few minutes later, Stockdale just knocks a ball clean, knocked on. Like it's a kick through. All he has to do is catch it. There's not really any pressure on him, just knocks it on flat. So it's just compoundingly worse for Ulster at that point. 21 minutes, Ramo misses a penalty, a fairly straightforward one. He may have been distracted by Wayne Barnes yelling at one of the H2O guys in French to, I don't know, get off the pitch or something. But he missed it. And then Ulster didn't make a mistake on 25. They kicked the penalty. Toulouse conceded another penalty from the kickoff. And I'm wondering at that point, is the momentum starting to shift Ulster's way? Because, Toulouse have missed the penalty. Ulster have gone down the other end. Then Toulouse have conceded another penalty. Maybe it's time for Ulster to get on top, especially when Ramo misses another penalty. But it's not to be, because Colby gets another one before halftime. It's another ankle breaker on Stockdale on the right wing, and they convert it. So it's 15-3 at halftime. 15-3. And you feel like Toulouse have looked pretty tidy. Ulster haven't really had any clean-cut chances to score. Pleasingly, the set piece was pretty solid both sides. Like in the previous two Champions Cup quarterfinals, like the scrums were getting dominated one way or the other. Like Leinster was under huge pressure from Saracens, and likewise Racing 92 was able to put the squeeze on Clermont, but not so in this case. It was pretty tight. Second half, Ulster get a big chance. They got a line out a few meters out from Toulouse's line, and if they score it, it's going to make it potentially a 5-point ball game. But they get turned over. It's pretty brutal. And then a few minutes later, Dupont gets a try. Guitoun with the line break. He's pulling up his shorts, which have been half pulled down on the line break as he busted through two tacklers. And he gets the ball to Dupont. And it's 22-3. 22-3 is maybe the moment that it clicks, like for the Toulouse guys, where they can start opening up. Maybe the Ulster guys lose a yard of pace in their defence, because mentally, that's a long way back. And it doesn't help that McCloskey goes off as well. He's been playing, I think, with a bit of an injured elbow, they said. So Cooney has to go to the wing. Matthewson comes on. That's both of Ulster's back replacements on. They did start to bring the changes with the forwards as well. I guess that was the point of the 6-2 split. But then 61 minutes, Aki gets a try. Huge from a high ball. He's just too tall for, I think it was Little. And he gets the ball to Aki, chip and chase, and it goes over. So 29 points to 3. Ramo gets one 5 minutes later. Another Gitoon line break. It was almost like in slow motion. This is what I'm talking about, the defence. It was just not quite there. I mean, Toulouse are a good side, so what can you say? 36-3 at that point. I will say, though, that the Ulster guys didn't just flat out stop playing. Like, they maybe laxed off a bit. Maybe it was just Toulouse going up a gear. It's kind of hard to say. Maybe a bit of both. But they still kept playing right till the death. Like, Lowry gets a kick through, a high ball for Cooney, who gets a try on the left wing. And the crowd were loud in their applause for Ulster's try as well, which is kind of good to see. They missed it, the conversion from the sideline, but it's 36-8, so a nice little consolation try. Cooney keeps playing right at the death. Like, it looks like Toulouse are going to canter in for another try, but he gets in the way and intercepts one of the final passes to snuff out a potential try that would have made it 40 points. Ulster got a penalty right at the death. Like I said, they kept playing, but then Lowry's kick for touch tried to chew off too many meters, and it went dead. So that was the end of the game. So yeah, on the scoreboard, it's a pretty bad look for Ulster, but like I said, they were expected to get beaten pretty comfortably, and so it proved. As I mentioned, I think they had some changes to the squad right before kickoff, which was also unfortunate. You don't need that, and then injuries throughout the game, not helpful. Toulouse really upped it a gear in the second half, and Ulster just couldn't keep up. So possession 53-47, territory 54-46, both in Toulouse's favour. Ulster had more knock-ons by 5-4. Run meters, though, I mean, in terms of the entertainment value of this game, it was there. There was a ton of run meters, 634 to 426. Over 1,000 run meters in this game. There was plenty of attacking play. 12 clean breaks apiece. Remember, I think in that Saracens and Leinster game, there were 3 line breaks in the whole game. It was 24. 10 offloads apiece. As I said, the set piece was pretty solid. 10 penalties conceded by Toulouse, 9 by Ulster, so pretty even. Tackling percentage 87 for Toulouse, 83 by Ulster, but they had to make a lot more tackles. 134 to 96. So it was always going to be tough, man. Making more tackles under that pressure. Guys like Colby, who's a World Cup winner, who can just make something out of nothing. Ramos had 125 run meters. Dupont had 106. Colby, who went off with like a quarter of the game to go, he had 49 run meters and beat 5 defenders, so he was your top dog. Lowry, though, had 84 run meters and 3 defenders beaten. One point, he got a line break on his own, and it was just, yeah, tough, man. Tough. Burns went off after 16. McCloskey went off after 52. So, yeah, it doesn't help things. But, yeah, I still haven't watched Exeter and Northampton. I'm going to go sit down and watch that now while I kind of pay attention to my work at the same time. Day job. But yeah, I wouldn't get too downhearted if I was an Ulster fan after this one, because it was going to be a tough job. It was competitive at half time. Execution was a bit lacking. If they'd got some of those chances in the first half, maybe put Toulouse under a bit of pressure. But once Toulouse got far enough ahead, it was always going to get pretty messy, and it could have actually been worse. But credit to the guys for not stopping running, and they did manage to hold them off. Toulouse, though, they're looking like a big threat. They're a bloody good team. Good players, seem to be well coached, and you feel like they didn't hit their top gear either. So there's still probably plenty more to come from them, given that they've only had a couple of games back since the extended break. But yeah, you guys let me know your thoughts on this one. Belated as it is, and I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.